and welcome. I'm Carla from Mindset and Mayhem, and we are talking today about body image. Now, in particular, one thing that I noticed, and I was talking to a medical professional about this the other day who's about my age, is that in the younger generations of women, they seem to be a little bit more comfortable in their body, and they seem to have a few less body rules. And I have a theory on this, and she has the same theory. Now, if you're a 40-something woman, maybe even a 30-something woman, it's quite likely that you grew up in a time where there was no social media. And we talk about social media being a really negative thing, right? Where we are exposed to all this perfect world. But see, the thing with social media is you can choose who you follow and who you don't follow. So you can curate your feed to be positive and uplifting, and particularly when it comes to body image or body types, you can choose to follow people that actually inspire you, or you can choose to follow people that don't, that kind of like make you feel less than. Okay, so there is body diversity there. Whereas the women that are in their 30s, particularly late 30s, 40s, and even early 50s, we grew up with magazines, we grew up with TV. So if you have got a body that isn't in the standard 5% that is shown on these things, then it's likely that you're feeling that there's some not enoughness there. Now, this is sometimes compounded because we go through a change in our 40s as well, where our hormones change, our metabolism changes, and maybe the things that we've done to sustain our bodies or to be that person starts to change. Like, for instance, your eyebrows start to go wide, your hair loses its color, sometimes it even loses its fullness, and our bodies start to change as we move from being able to breathe to moving into that more wise phase of our life, so to speak. Now, it's all quite massive, but often that change makes us feel just not enough. And when we see a world, often when we're in our 40s, where youthful appearances are, it's sometimes a lot to actually recognize our worth in the world as well. So this tap is on social media. This EFT tap is on body image and self-love and finding our worth. Now, because I'm quite unique in the way that I do my taps, you're going to have many opportunities to personalize this tap for you, to have a bit of a rant and to get what's off your chest and in your head out, okay? And this is really important because I can't edit your energy, or you can't edit your energy, because I'm actually not editing it, you're editing it, which is why I teach EFT. If you can't edit your energy if you don't feel it, if you're not in that state. So the more that you're in that state, the more honest you are, the more cringy you are, the more complainy that you are, and you're allowed to complain because you're thinking it anyway, so get it out. The more that you are going to flip the script. Now, this is one script. I actually have a bundle of scripts on self-love that are available for you to download, and I'll put that link right at the end so that you can have them and then you can work through them yourself in your own time. And once again, they're very unique compared to the other EFT scripts that we see, in that you can personalize it for you, and there's lots in those as well, so please use that resource if you need to. So in my EFT tap, we are dealing with comparison, we're dealing with the change, but we are more so dealing with what is in your head. So when I have an EFT tap, my taps are different from how many other EFT practitioners actually structure their taps, and that you will have a chance to personalize the experience for you. And I will ask you to have a rant, or I'll ask you to tell me how that feels for you, or I'll ask you to tell me what you think, because it's when we get those complaining, whiny, really negative things out of our brain and we get them into our energy system that we can actually edit them. So don't think I'm being too complaining, I'm being too whiny. Let it go, because you're thinking it anyway. So when you bring it into your energy field, then the EFT tapping can work. It's magic. Now, there's a couple of things that you need to know. If you've never EFT tapped before, it's really useful to know where to tap on the points with accuracy. And you can pause here and you can go into one of my other videos and I go through that. Now, you don't have to pause here. You can keep going on with this video, but if you have the correct points, there will be more accuracy for you. It will be more time efficient and you'll get the results, or better results, than what you would if you're not accurate. Now, know that when you are EFT tapping, you might have some feelings arise in your body, and they might be really strong emotions. Just keep tapping. Know that when I ask you to verbalize something, that might really come up in your system, and you might feel that you weep, or you yawn, or you feel really mad, or you feel really, really sad, and you might just burst into tears. Just keep tapping. You might yawn, you might weep, you might off gas, you might feel hot, cold, you might have a sudden thought about something, and you might need to go through the sequence again for that specific thing that comes to mind. Just know that these are all options available for you, and you can use this sequence again and again and again and personalize it with anything to do with comparison and not feeling enough in your body image. Now, also know that when we work on body image, we are actually working on stepping into less judgment, less comparison in all areas of life. So while we might be working in our body shape, we are actually working in many different ways, and it's going to change the way that you show up in many different things, very, very subtly. And that's the way that EFT works, right? Is that it's very subtle in creating change across your whole entire field. So without much ado, let's step into our EFT tap, and we're going to start tapping on the karate chop point. You're going to repeat after me, and you're going to personalize it when I ask. So ready to go. Even though I feel not enough with my body, I'm open to loving and accepting who I am more. Repeating after me. Even though I've been in a constant fight with my body, and I felt I've needed to control it, I can begin to love and accept myself as I am. Even though I felt I am, tell me what it is, out of control, or maybe frumpy. Even though I feel I am, have a little rant. How do you feel you are over your body? And when you think about your body, I can begin to love myself and accept myself a little bit more every day. Eyebrow point. I criticize my body. Outside eye. I criticize my body because, tell me what, maybe you've got a big bum, maybe you've got a big belly. I criticize myself because I'm not able to keep my shape. I criticize myself because I don't fit a size. What size? Even though I criticize myself because, tell me more, have a rant, under the eye, and it makes me feel frumpy. It makes me feel that I'm not worthy. It makes me feel that I'm not attractive. It makes me feel that I can't go for that raise at work. How does it make you feel? I'm just giving you ideas there. It makes me feel, under the nose, I'm allowed to feel this way. You are allowed to feel this way. On the chin, I'm allowed to criticize my body, especially when I see. Tell me all the things that you see while you're tapping on the chin. I'm allowed to criticize my body, especially when I see lumps and bumps, a wider belly. I see that my jeans don't fit. What else? Tell me all of it. And then the collarbones. And when I see others, I feel, how do you feel? Do you feel a bit jealous? When I see others that are holding it together, I think, why not me? And in not a good way. How do you feel? And when I see others, tell me all, fill in the spaces, have a little bit of a rant. It's important that you personalize this. Under the arms. And I hear my critical voice constantly. Eyebrow. My critical voice says, tell me what it says. Outside of the eye, when I catch myself looking in reflections, it says, What does it say? You look old, you look tired, you've let yourself go. What does it say? I'm just filling the void under the eye, and I compare myself to how? What do you compare yourself to? I compare myself to women with longer legs, that are taller, that are younger. Under the nose, and it's not fear. It's not fear. Is it not fear? Chin, it's not fear because, tell me why it's not fear. There's a release from me. And the collarbones. And I just want to feel, tell me, how do you want to feel? On the collarbones, take it all the way out and then come back in. How do you want to feel? Under the arms. Because I'm worth it. Because you're worth it. Under the arms. And you can see I'm doing a double tap there. And then side of the hand. I've felt not enough for a lot of my life. And I can choose to keep this feeling. Or I can choose to let it go. Either way, I can love or accept myself for where I am. I can choose to continue to compare myself. Or I can choose another way. And I can love and accept myself for feeling this way. I can love and accept myself for this choice. Eyebrow, I have chosen to feel. Have you chosen to feel? Outside of the eye, I have chosen to compare myself. Under the eye, because tell me what, because my legs are too big, because I don't look the same in a swimsuit, because my belly's out of control, and then under the nose, and I am the harshest voice of criticism. And the chin, I criticize myself and judge myself constantly. And then collarbones, and I can choose to let this go. And I can choose to love and accept every part of my body. Or I can choose not to. Eyebrow, I can choose to let this go. Outside of the eye, I choose to let this go in layers. Under the eye, I choose to calm the voice of criticism. Under the nose, I can choose to stop judging myself so harshly. Chin, and I release my old patterns. Collarbones, I can treat myself with kindness. Under the arms, because my body supports me. Spreading the hands wide. I can choose what's right for my body. I can choose thoughts that empower me. I can choose to speak to myself kindly. I can choose to love and accept myself a little bit more every day. Tell yourself anything else that you need to say. Then coming to the heart point, I am loved, I am loving. I am lovable, just as I am. I am loved. I am loving. I am lovable, just as I am. And so it is. And then hands come down. Eyes close. You feel your energy moving around your body. And as you do, you're taking your breath. And in your next inhalation, I invite you to break your breath into 3 parts. The first part expands the collarbones front and back. Sip in the next third to really expand the rib cage. And the final third moves into the lower belly. And then an exhale through the nose like the ocean. Third of the breath to the collarbones. A third of the breath to the rib cage. And a third of the breath to the lower belly. And then the sound of the ocean. A third of the breath to the collarbones. Feel the shoulders release and open. A third to the rib cage. Feel the chest rise. A third of the breath to the lower belly. Feel the ribs and the hips expand gently. And then your exhalation. And take another breath or 2. And when you're ready, slowly blink open your eyes. And just feel into how you feel. Now you might feel that you've got another sensation or another emotion that's come back up, and I suggest you go and you do the tap again with that feeling and putting that in the blanks, okay? And follow the thread, right? Because sometimes you work off one layer and then you come to another layer and then you work off that layer and then you'll come to a place where you have another layer, or maybe you are done on that thread. But follow the thread, use the tap. It's able to be personalized for you. Or you can go to my link that I'm going to post after here and you can download my EFT tapping resource, which has got 5 taps on body love, so that you can read them through and you can actually work through those in different areas yourself. And so that is at the end. I've also put in my perimenopause link to a tapping script bundle as well for you to work through. So that is once again on accepting some of the changes in perimenopause, because while we can't change the symptoms, we can feel that we've got less resistance against them, and then we're able to access solutions with more ease. So if that feels right for you, go with that. Fill yourself with lots of water today. May you have mental happiness, may you have physical happiness, and may you live your life with ease. Until next time, ciao, ciao.